I was very insecure when I started out. There were people who told me, "अरे आपकी नाक ऐसी, अरे आपका face ऐसा, ये कर लो, वो कर लो." But I think I was like, people will see the beauty in me in my imperfection, you know. But I feel imperfection is beauty. अगर हम सब एक जैसे लगेंगे तो फिर क्या ही पॉइंट है. कोई कुछ भी बोलता है ना, यू हैव टू डेवलप अ थिक स्किन इन दिस इंडस्ट्री, बिकॉज बोलने वाले, ओपिनियन देने वाले इतने लोग हैं. और आजकल तो सिर्फ एक्टर्स नहीं है, बट इवन नॉर्मल गर्ल्स फेस सो मच ऑफ इट. एंड आई फील बैड व्हेन आई सी इंस्टाग्राम पे जब मैं देखती हूँ कि यू नो यंग गर्ल्स आर ट्राइंग टू बी समवन दे आर नॉट. आई नो हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट इज़ एंड हाउ इट मस्ट बी टेकिंग अ टोल ऑन देयर मेंटल हेल्थ. बट अगर आप, if you stay true to yourself, that is when you'll get the confidence. If you don't and if you keep listening to other people, आप कितने भी अच्छे लगो ना, आपको खुद you will not like yourself. I think when I started out, for me, Nayanthara ma'am was that person. She is called the lady superstar. She's probably the only one who's treated as equal as male actors are because of the characters that she's done. Sometimes male actors are treated better than female actors. I'm not saying कि female actors को अच्छे से treat नहीं करते हैं. They'll always have the best suite. They'll always have the best car. Vanity. They'll always have the bigger vanity. You know, I think it's important that you're on your own also, and a lot of women are increasingly understanding that. When marriage, great, you get into it. I believe in that institution. I will want to get married one day. But now it's a choice. Like divorce rates are also up. Yeah. So how can you just say that marriage helps everybody? Also, some people would be like, get lip fillers done, and I'm like, buddy, I love myself. I don't want to change anything.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Raashi. That's such a sweet introduction.
But it's true. You are one of our Wonder Women.
Thank you.
I'm going to take you back to the days where you started this career, and slowly and steadily you made a name for yourself.
Yes.
And for you, this.
I think for me, my journey was a little different because I never planned on becoming an actor. It was mostly destiny, and then coupled with hard work. Once I found my space and I was like, this is what I want to do. I think it wasn't easy as I was navigating the space. I didn't know what acting was all about. I didn't know my angles. I didn't know lighting. And I understood that acting is just not about looking good on screen. There is so much more. You need to put your soul out there for the audience. It wasn't easy in the start, but I think I found my way. And today I'm here, and when I look back, I still feel like I've just started. There's so much more that I want to do.
It's a little bit more difficult when you're an outsider.
You know, I'll tell you, Rudrani, today I feel it's more difficult. I don't know if to be an outsider today also. I think the business aspects of it have taken over social media, where you know it's not really about your acting skills as much as it is also about the number of followers you have. So it's a different ball game altogether. When I started out, social media was not at the peak, but today it is, and it is even more difficult to let people see you. You know what I mean? Like it's more difficult when you're an outsider, when you don't come with that much of wealth where you can just put yourself out there.
Or someone to show you direction also.
Yeah, exactly. I think you just have to work on your skill, and I still believe that just going to the gym, having a great body, having a great face will not make you sustain in the long run. Like you need to have that talent. Otherwise you'll be there for like 2-3 years, and then maybe people will not want to see you. If you're talented, if you're skillful, then a friend of mine says that class is eternal. So you know you have to be classy about it and let your work speak for yourself eventually.
Right?
Yes, I think I was blessed to have been part of a film like Madras Cafe, where my acting skills were noticed. I didn't even know I have it in. I didn't even know back then that I had it in me. I got to work with this really good director, Shujit Sarkar, who sort of really helped bring out the actor in me. And then I got into a Telugu film. The language was a challenge. Then I went on to Tamil films. I think language was a challenge for me in the beginning. And I feel unless you know the language, you cannot really get into people's hearts. So for me today, if you ask me who I am, I can't say that I'm just a Delhiite. You know, I'm also a Telugu girl. I'm also a Tamil ponna. So I'm just like, I feel like this all Indian girl, you know. And it's great that, you know, I was able to see so many cultures and so many traditions and to be able to reflect that in my characters and my films. So I think that was a challenge for me. But I think I overcame it because I learned those languages, and that's why people accepted me to a point where in the north today they ask me, अरे आपको हिंदी आती है? मैं बोलती हूँ यार मैं राशि खन्ना हूँ, you know. So yeah, that's a win. So I think that was a challenge that I had to overcome in the beginning.
पर वो एक कला है. इट्स अ स्किल टू पिक अप लैंग्वेजेस. बहुत मुश्किल होता है. आज अगर आपको कोई बोल रहा है कि इट्स नॉट अ मैटर ऑफ जोक, टेल मी हाउ, व्हाट वर द काइंड ऑफ टूल्स दैट यू यूज्ड?
Yes. So I think for my first film, which was a Telugu film, I'll tell you my tools. There was a friend of mine who's a Telugu girl. I got her into my house. I made her stay with me, and I told her, ये मेरी स्क्रिप्ट है, प्लीज़ मुझे बता मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ, मैं क्यों बोल रही हूँ, और इसका मतलब क्या है. एंड उसने मुझे बहुत हेल्प किया टू नेविगेट थ्रू माई कैरेक्टर, थ्रू माई लाइन्स, क्योंकि जब तक मुझे पता ही नहीं है मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ तो मैं एक्सप्रेस क्या करूँगी. जब तक मैं एक्सप्रेस नहीं करूँगी वो ऑडियंस तक पहुँचेगा कैसे. सो वेरी अर्ली ऑन आई अंडरस्टूड कि लैंग्वेज के बिना तो आप सस्टेन कर ही नहीं सकते. तमिल के लिए आई गॉट अ प्रोफेशनल टीचर टू लर्न तमिल. आई टुक क्लासेस एंड इट्स नॉट एन ईजी थिंग. ऑल्सो जब आप सेट पे होते हो तो सब तेलुगु में बात कर रहे हैं, सब तमिल में बात कर रहे हैं, तो सुन के ना भाषा आ जाती है. You know, so I think it was more that, and I started watching a lot of regional cinema, जो अब regional नहीं रहा है, because आज भी जो फिल्में बन रही हैं वो हिंदी, तमिल, तेलुगु, मलयालम, कन्नड़ा हर लैंग्वेज में बन रही है. तो आई थिंक उस वक्त के लिए मेरी दोस्त ने मेरी बहुत मदद की, मेरे डायरेक्टर्स ने बहुत मदद की जिनको हिंदी आती थी, और अदरवाइज इट वाज आल्सो एन एफर्ट ऑन माय पार्ट. So I think it was a collaborative effort of a lot of people, which helped me. Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Like I always say, you make it look easy, but I know it's not.
It's not easy at all.
It's not easy at all.
In fact, नहीं, initially मुझे बहुत डर लगता था कि मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगी, मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी.
Authentic होगा कि नहीं?
Yeah, and I think a lot of times I also want to tell this to young girls कि हम खुद अपने barriers create करते हैं, जो शायद हम पार भी कर लें. You know, वो बस हिम्मत की ज़रूरत है कि नहीं मैं कर लूँगी. Just have that mindset that I will do it and I can do it. इनिशियली अगर हम ये सोचेंगे कि अरे मुझसे तो होगा ही नहीं जो मैं सोचती थी, तो फिर मुश्किलें और बढ़ जाएंगी.
What a lovely thing to say. But मेरा next सवाल ही was about confidence. Of course यहाँ तक है ना, and of course it is a part of your job to look a certain way and all of that, but it also breaks your confidence. But I have seen you navigate through all of that, and
देखिए initially I was slightly chubbier, but I think the Telugu audience loved me even then. But I did understand कि commercial films में ऐसा होता है that you should look a certain way. People don't care उसके पीछे क्या है, they just care about what they are seeing. And it's not like उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि अरे you know you have to cut down, you have to look a certain way. ऐसा कभी आया नहीं, but I just thought from my end, from myself कि what can I do to look my best. It didn't come from the outer noise कि you know you should. It was like an inner calling that I should just try to look my best. I should just give in to it because I know there are certain expectations. But I think उसके बाद जैसे मैंने कहा कि after the exterior क्या है, आप 5 साल निकालोगे, आप 6 साल निकालोगे, उसके बाद क्या है? अगर आपकी कला में ही प्रॉब्लम है तो आप कितनी आगे जाओगे? Then is when I started sort of seriously considering my skill and trying to do different characters, trying to enter all these different genres, because I was like अगर ज़्यादा time sustain करना है तो ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. And I know that I was also an insecure person. मैं ऐसे नहीं बोलूँगी कि I was born confident, ऐसा नहीं था.
ऐसा होता नहीं.
I was very insecure when I started out. There were people who told me अरे आपकी नाक ऐसी, अरे आपका face ऐसा, ये कर लो, वो कर लो. But I think I was like, people will see the beauty in me in my imperfection. You know, but I feel imperfection is beauty. अगर हम सब एक जैसे लगेंगे तो फिर क्या ही point है? You know, then how do you stand out? So I feel like you have to be confident in your skin, the way you look. I don't think you have to change anything about it. That's the beauty of a human being. Every one of us has been given those features. ठीक है, अगर आपको अच्छे नहीं लगता आप change करते हो, that's fine. But don't do it because somebody is telling you. Do it if you feel you need to do it. And thankfully, I've never felt like I want to change anything about my face. Body, हाँ मैंने सोचा I want to be fitter. But otherwise, I was like कोई कुछ भी बोलता है ना, you have to develop a thick skin in this industry because बोलने वाले, opinion देने वाले इतने लोग हैं, और आजकल तो सिर्फ actors नहीं है, but even normal girls face so much of it. And I feel bad when I see Instagram पे जब मैं देखती हूँ कि you know young girls are trying to be someone they are not. I know how difficult it is and how it must be taking a toll on their mental health. But अगर आप if you stay true to yourself, that is when you'll get the confidence. If you don't and if you keep listening to other people, आप कितने भी अच्छे लगो ना, आपको खुद you will not like yourself. So I think it's important to love yourself first, and that is where your confidence builds.
But you know, we saw that especially in commercial films, you didn't have that kind of scripts. You know, you just mentioned about how you, there's nothing bad in it, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a fun film? But I know you made that change consciously.
But you know, no matter how much I want it, I should also be presented with those opportunities.
Sure.
Is when I told casting directors, my managers, I said, "Mera audition le lo." You know, like,
There's no
if you
ego,
think,
right?
yeah, there is absolutely no ego.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Mera audition le lo." And if you think that I don't suit the part, chalo theek hai, maybe in a certain way that I look, maybe I'll not suit the part.
Yeah.
There'll be parts that I'll suit, but let's just try and take my audition. That's when Rudra में जब मैं negative character play कर रही थी, तो मैंने उसका audition दिया था. मैंने फर्जी का जब मुझे choose किया गया था, तो मेरे old audition पे base करके मुझे फर्जी मिली थी. And today also I tell them I'm totally okay with auditioning, but please audition and give me that shot. A lot of films I don't think they audition. बट आई थिंक हम अगर वो प्रोसेस ओपन करेंगे तो कितना और टैलेंट उभर के आएगा, कितनों को वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी हु आर जस्ट रिस्ट्रिक्टेड इन दैट कमर्शियल ब्रैकेट. एंड आई नो गर्ल्स हु वांट टू ब्रेक फ्री फ्रॉम इट. आई ऑल्सो नो गर्ल्स हु डू अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंट एंड नाउ वांट टू गेट इनटू द कमर्शियल स्पेस. सो आई थिंक देयर इज ऑलवेज दिस वांट ऑफ डूइंग मोर. बट आई थिंक आई वाज लकी कि लोगों ने मेरी बात सुनी और बोला चलो इसको ऑडिशन करते हैं. यू नो, एंड that's a challenge that you have to break your character and get into content.
You worked with the biggest of actors as well, right? In Tamil and Telugu. I mean, but there is always, when you try to venture out, you know, try to do something where you are leading the project in that way. Personally, एक transformative और बहुत important stage होता है. Can you tell me how you felt that and how did you kind of deal through that?
See, when I was wanting to get into content, a lot of my friends, a lot of my managers, they were very low, you know, now she wants to make that switch, let's do it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in my case, it's not like मेरा commercial aspect खत्म हो गया. Because a lot of times people feel that if you're too strong as an actor, अरे commercial film में audience will also expect कि उस commercial film में भी she should have that part. But why can't we do both? You know, it's fine. I'm very happy to do singing and dancing in a film and feel easy because now that I'm doing content, I feel अरे एक commercial picture कर लेते हैं where you know it's easy breezy on my head because I know how much content can get to your head when you're constantly switching from characters. So I think a balance is perfect, but I also shove that balance where I say हाँ ठीक है, अगर एक ऐसी फिल्म है जिसमें मेरा कैरेक्टर इतना strong नहीं है, I'm okay to do it if I can balance it with stuff that you know where I'm getting content, and thankfully I'm getting both, so I'm in a good space at this time.
Yeah, and which is wonderful. It was absolutely delightful to see how Tamanna and you had championed Aranmanai, right? Like, or what are your thoughts on it?
I think content is king today. It doesn't matter really if you're a male or a female anymore. Like I recently saw Mrs. I absolutely loved Sanya in it.
Beautiful.
And I think it's content like that just puts you out there where people want to see more of you. And it doesn't matter if it's backed by a male actor.
Yeah.
Of course, they have their own market and they bring a lot of people to the theatres. But I feel today content is king. And like an Aranmanai 4 did so well. We didn't expect that. But I think we were very happy because I was like, chalo, now we can go out and say that you can put your films and you can put your business into us. You can bank on us.
You have numbers to show.
Yeah, and we will deliver if you give us a good script. I think I think today horror as a genre also works really well, which is my next Tamil film also, Agatya, that's coming out. That's also the horror genre that's working. But apart from that, I feel content is king, where today even women are getting those opportunities. We may be a little far ahead. थोड़ा पीछे हम, not far ahead, but I think we will reach there where people will understand that अगर फिल्म अच्छी है और you know doesn't matter if it's a male actor or a female actor leading it, eventually हो सकता है then we'll actually have equality in the industry, you know, so that's a hope. Yeah.
No, what are the other you know areas where you felt you have this subtle sexism? अब कोई outrightly भी नहीं करता है, right?
I think it's just the way sometimes male actors are treated better than female actors. I'm not saying कि female actors को अच्छे से treat नहीं करते हैं, but there's just always this subtle thing that they'll always have the best suite, they'll always have the best car,
vanity,
they'll always have the bigger vanity. And I think while growing up, I understood that ठीक है, if I cannot deliver a film which is bringing people to the theatre, I cannot complain. You know, so the problem is at the grassroots. People should be willing to watch you on screen.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot just say कि चलो pay disparity है, you give me the money, they'll be like हाँ ठीक है, we will. But can you bring those people to the theatre? If you can, we will pay you that money. Today women can say this like after an Aranmanai 4, I was like, okay, now we've delivered. Now at least, you know, give us a little better treatment. तो वो subtle way में हमेशा से मैंने देखा ही है, वो अभी बदला नहीं है. But as I said, when people accept female actors in the lead, maybe वो भी बदलेगा, but अभी तो है, because it's there.
Bilkul, absolutely, very well put. You were talking about Aranmanai 4, I have to bring up, horror is very tricky. Tell me how you look at this conversation.
You know, my biggest challenge was, मेरे को ना डर नहीं लगता है, mostly. Like, I might react to things, that's a reaction or a response to a certain thing, जो एकदम से झटका लगेगा. But मुझे डर नहीं लगता है. Like, I can watch horror films with my eyes open. So I've always loved the genre. And I think in India, we are exploring it more today. Like horror comedies, like even Stree 2, now we have this universe of horror comedy. धीरे धीरे हम वहाँ जा रहे हैं, but I still feel like एक proper horror अभी भी थोड़ा missing है. We always add elements of comedy into it. Correct. But I feel like एक proper horror genre is still something that we really can explore and we should explore. Because I think people love those thrills, especially people who love horror films.
Yeah,
like there are people who can't watch horror films.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah, but I love horror films. So I think as a genre, it can definitely be explored a little more.
Is that how it was for Agastya as well? When you were like, let me now pretend I'm very scared.
No, I was like, इसको कैसे हम genuine कर सकते हैं, you know, because अगर, I mean, I believe in God, so I believe in the evil also. I think both come together. So I know that exists, and there have been some spooky experiences also on set, especially Aranmanai के set पे तो मुझे लगा था. Even Agastya के set पे the way the surrounding was, you would feel very spooky. But मुझे डर नहीं लगता, and that was my. But I tried to be as genuine as I could be. I think that didn't come in the way of my acting, but yeah, it was fun.
Which is why you're an actor.
Yes.
I mean, to portray the emotions that you don't feel also, probably, right?
Yes.
This is paving the path, because you are considered to be, for a lot of other women today, to be among those women.
I think a lot of women will agree with me that when I was sort of almost starting out, I looked at Priyanka Chopra and I was like, the way she's just navigated through with her hard work, with her talent, however that she's done it is still a mystery to me. But how she became like this global star, you know, was quite a journey that I wanted to emulate, and I was inspired by her. She's always said that she's been a hustler. And I think now she sort of also says that, you know, rest is important, which I've also understood with time. Yeah. That balance is key, and hustling, we shouldn't glorify hustling because it really sort of shuts you down eventually.
Exhaustive.
Yes, but I think she is that example where I've always looked at her and I've always been like, she's really paved way for a lot of us. Where now it doesn't feel like that's impossible to do, you know. She's made us believe that anything is possible in your life. So just trust yourself, be confident, and just pave your own way.
Makes way for the rest of them.
I think when I started out, for me, Nayanthara ma'am was that person. She is called the lady superstar, and she is seen as she's probably the only one who's treated as equal as male actors are because of the characters that she's done, because of the person that she is, you know. So I think she was that role model for me when I was starting out, that, you know, I would love to do what she's been able to do. Yeah.
Oh, which is fantastic.
I think my mother firstly, and I think a lot of us would agree that our mothers play a very important role in shaping us in the way we are. And she told me this one thing, she's like, I'm very proud of you, of who you've become as an actor, but I want people to say that you're a good person. That is when I win as a mother. You know, it's not just about your fame, because that'll come and that'll go. But अगर कोई मुझे आके बोल देगा ना कि आप ये आपकी अच्छी बेटी है, like I want to be like her, even if a little girl comes and says I want to be like her, not in terms of my success or the person that, or the actor that I've become today, but as a human being, you know. So I think she really shaped me into the person that I am, and I do believe, and I have no qualms in accepting that I know I'm a nice person. Of course, I am kind, and it's okay to accept that. It's not that it doesn't come from vanity, or it doesn't come from a place of ego or anything. I just think that you should love yourself for who you are, and I absolutely love myself.
Women are not friends with each other, and बहुत सारे, I'm sure in a lot of press conferences and interviews, when you're doing multi-star projects, they'll be like, oh, we heard there's a cat fight, and they have done this for a really long time.
So I think the only very close friend that I have is Vani.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know about it. I've known her since I was 17 years old, and people have always asked me, how are you friends?
It's weird.
And I'm like, but why can't we be friends?
Yeah.
You know, we look out for each other. We cheer each other up. I love when her film works. I love it when she dances like the dream that she dances like, you know, and I'm the first cheerleader in her life and she is the cheerleader for me. And I've forged such a beautiful friendship with her. And even while I was working in the South, I've known Rakul, I've known Regina, you know, those people who were working with me, and we were always like chilling together, talking about the projects that we were doing. I never felt like, oh, maybe she's trying to put me down, or is it because that's what they ingrain in your head. Subtly, maybe it might be there also, but I have not experienced it. I've heard stories, but I don't know how true they are. But I genuinely feel we can still, cheer each other up and make way for a better future for all of us. Yeah.
When you start, it's so important to feel safe, right? Like you said, you've come in sets a lot. There are also some...
So many of them ended up becoming my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to carry those friendships forward.
Sure.
But I think definitely Ravi Teja was one. He was the sweetest person that I've worked with, who was just so cool with everything and treated me like an equal, like a friend. You know, on set, and those were the early years of me growing up and in the industry, and he was just an absolute pleasure. He made me feel very safe. A lot of them actually. I mean, I can just write out a list of people. Dhanush was one of them. He made me feel very comfortable. Mohanlal sir, I remember when I was working with him in the Malayalam film that I did with him, as soon as I entered the set, he said, "Welcome to our family." You know, he doesn't have to do that. He's at that stature, but he came and he said that, and he said, "You should feel comfortable on this set." And I was like, blown away by the humbleness that they have and that they don't have to do it, but they still do it. I love Shah Rukh sir because I've just met him and I was just like, guys should just be like him, you know. Because he makes you feel like you're the center of the world, you know, and he treats you with so much respect. So I think, there's a lot of examples, and I'm glad that they exist because it just sort of makes you feel like, okay, even if there are undercurrents of this difference between male and female actors, at least there are some people who make you feel like an equal.
Yeah, at least they try to make that effort.
Yes.
But you know, it's wonderful, and thank you for your honesty, of course. Like you said, you know, you see the beauty standards that the society expects you, but even for you, you've gone through that phases. Tell me how you dealt with it and how you think society needs to change a little bit on that.
I think we've changed a little bit where women are not being pressured after the 30s ke अरे शादी कर लो नहीं तो अपनी life खत्म है. I understand we all need a companion who can just view our life, spend our life with. I understand all that. But I think that pressure was, at least personally, never existed in my life where my parents were like, शादी करो, you know. Because they are like, we love the fact that you've come on your own, you've become a person of your own. You might see it negatively sometimes and say, oh, but how will you adjust? You know, because women are supposed to adjust. But I think I love the way that I've become today. I can still adjust, but you know, I think it's important that you're on your own also, and a lot of women are increasingly understanding that. When marriage, great, you get into it. I believe in that institution. I will want to get married one day. But now it's a choice. I still feel in some cities it's mandatory. Like, you know, oh my god, 26, 27 is considered zyada age ho gayi hai. But I think that will also pass eventually, because I think like divorce rates are also up. So how can you just say that marriage helps everybody? So I'm saying today we are at that time where we are having those discussions, and hopefully it'll come out of choice, you know, and not a necessity.
I love that. And these are what are the kind of qualities today, when you think about it over the time, that a partner should have for you, you know, in life?
I think when I was growing up, I was always like, I want a good-looking boy. You know, you all want that.
Always.
But I think now it's changed completely, where I'm like, your personality, your passion in life, your loyalty, your belief in me, and vice versa, is what makes the relationship strong. Your trust, and not just the external validation, because that will fade off. You know, these are the qualities that will stay.
Okay, absolutely wonderful. All right. This is the last segment. Just some more few questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's go.
Life is good. Don't stress.
I love that.
I don't like your nose. Change it.
You have a beautiful nose, everybody. Please.
I love it.
No, you're beautiful. The fact that I'm sure a lot of them are saying, imagine they're putting that pressure on Raashi, what happened to us. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, also some people would be like, get lip fillers done, and I'm like, buddy, I love myself. I don't want to change anything.
It's just beautiful. Okay.
Thank you. I think Tholi Prema was one film, and Oohalu Gusagusalade actually, but Tholi Prema was the film that sort of changed a lot of things for me when they started seeing the actor in me. Tamil, I think it was my first film, Imaikkaa Nodigal, but also I think Sardar too, which was a very good story. Yeah, that film. And Aranmanai 4. Yeah,
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. A quality that you feel you admire?
I think the way they carry themselves, they all have distinct personalities. I love when a woman is confident in her own skin. However she is, if she's just confident and she's not insecure about herself, I love that. Like, I love confidence in a woman. And a lot of them are so confident, yeah. I mean, I could just learn from them. I'm also confident and self-assured, but it's just a treat to see them. Like, I think Sanya is very quirky. I love that about her. As I said, Priyanka is amazing. She has great confidence. There's so many. Kriti, I like. I think she's become confident over time now. I love that for her. I love Taapsi's confidence also. I also like Kangana, you know, because of whatever. Like, she has a mind of her own. And I just, there's so many different kinds of women, you know, and I love them for who they are. Yeah. I'd actually want some more rumors about me because there are barely any, because my managers are like, "Arey, kuch to baat kare log." And I'm like, but I just want my work to be spoken about. But they're like, no, you know, there should be some gossip. But thankfully, there are not too many rumors, and I don't think there's ever been a rumor which has bothered me because there haven't been many. I think there is something on Wikipedia saying that I'm married to this guy called Naman Mishra. I don't even know who he is. I don't even know if he exists.
Fact check, guys.
Please fact check. It's absolutely wrong. I don't even know if that a person of that name exists or I know of him. I don't know anybody. I don't know how they write all this. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a difficult one.
You know, sometimes you observe and you're like, you know what, this is great.
I think in Telugu, you know, once one of my co-stars said that I could romance a tree. He's just like, it's in your eyes.
Who was it?
Nitin was the one who said, you could romance a tree. It's not about me, it's the way you look, is what he told me. But I think my chemistry with most of my actors has been great. But I think in Telugu, it's difficult. I think Sai Dharam Tej, because probably he's also a friend of mine, and I think that sort of shows on screen.
People like Vijay Deverakonda.
Vijay Deverakonda, yeah. A lot of people have seen world famous Lava and they've loved it. So I think Vijay Deverakonda definitely. And in Tamil, Dhanush, I think we sort of.
Yeah.
I would just say that focus on your skill and not just on your bodies and the way you look. Just stay true to who you are and don't let people tell you who you should be. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being our Wonder Woman.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we
You are a Wonder Woman too. Yeah, I have to thank you for starting this, for giving us a voice through your interviews. It's amazing the way you talk and the way you bring out all these emotions. I think it's a talent. It's a great talent you have, and I think you're a Wonder Woman too.
How sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you make my job very easy because you're so honest. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
And we will continue to celebrate you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.